Hello and welcome to another update video about Fantom. Just want to cover Fantom because we've seen quite a bit of a reaction to my target area in which we dipped into. And also want to mention something about selling and buying back lower, because I had a few comments about this. So Fantom, just to remind you, I've been covering Fantom I think since September 21 or something. So we moved to new all-time highs, At some point I stopped covering Fantom because you just can't cover them all. Started to cover Fantom again when we started to move up here. Told you that we can, as a maximum, get to the all-time high, in my opinion. I mean, you never know, but with the highest probability, you turn around in this blue target range. So I personally started to dollar cost average out in Fantom, in this blue, or out of Fantom, in this blue target area, and also sold the last bit. I still had some Fantom left because I never sell everything, but sold most of it, or some. There was another sales order just above this target area, and channel members know my buy and sell orders, so that was all transparently published for channel members on Discord, and also I mentioned it in the videos for everybody anyway. Because I told you that this is with a high probability, as many other cryptos were doing it, a wave B. So basically the correction started already in October. Wave A is a correction, wave B is part of the correction, and we are now in that last wave of the correction, the wave C. All of this is part of a wave 2. Wave 2 is characterized as being a corrective wave, and A, B, C are the subwaves into the correction. I don't want to make it too complex, but that's typically how it works. Told you then that we were going to drop, and we dropped significantly. I told you here that we were still going to drop further because we had not reached the target area. The target area has been defined back then already as being located between the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level and the low of the wave A on the 4th of December. So basically anybody who started listening here when we started to move up could have listened to me and sold up here and bought back whenever they wanted, right? But were aware that we were getting into a correction. Of course, I never know, so of course you always have to listen to different people and so on. And I'm not claiming that I know, but we can only move in this space with, understanding probabilities, understanding key support levels, understanding what historically other cryptos or Fantom have done, and what is likely to repeat. And also from my point of view, or from my experience in the stock market, from my experience what other stocks are doing, young assets, they typically go down in a wave 2 correction in which we currently are into these FIB levels, between the 88.7% FIB level and the 78.6, so basically between 54 and 87. As a maximum in a wave 2, or as an absolute minimum requirement, you need to reach the 61.8%. That's at 143, so that was reached as well. But it would not have been enough to complete the correction. To complete the correction, Fantom needed to reach the target area. So basically, it needed to make a lower low, and it did that. And I clearly mentioned that in the last video. Now the problem is that, I mean, someone apparently had a few comments, actually only one comment. Someone said, lost a lot of money. That person lost a lot of money because of my Fantom predictions. Now, I don't know how that's possible, because I told you here that we were going to go up, yes, but that I'm extremely skeptical about this uptrend because we are in a wave B, and that was spot on. I told you up here that we were going to go into this area, and I think that was spot on. Lost around whatever 60-70%, and I told you in the target area, anywhere in here, you can't specify it further. At some point you're at the limits of what TA can do. At some point, anywhere in the target area, Fantom can turn around, and Fantom can start to go to new all-time highs, theoretically. However, I also told you that as we broke the previous support, so we broke that wave A low, what it needed to do, that we were with a high likelihood going down to 87 cents. Now, apparently that person sold somewhere here in panic because I said it can go to 87 cents. Of course it can go to 87 cents. That's still my expectation. And just because the price is going up a little bit doesn't mean it wouldn't come down low. It did that before. I mean, we moved here from 125 all the way up to $2, and we still carried on the correction and still remained bearish. But the difference now is that we have hit the target area, and that theoretically that low could be in. Now selling here is probably nothing I would do, because we have already corrected down 60%. So why sell when it's already corrected down 60%? Ideally selling up here, and that's what I did myself. But this is now buying time. This is not selling time. This is anywhere in this blue area for me is buying area, buying time, because from here at any point in time it has fulfilled the minimum correction requirement. So if anybody's selling now, even though the correction could nearly be finished, I personally don't understand that. And that is so important in the crypto market to understand that you have to be prepared for volatility. You have to be prepared for volatility. And you know, this is typical and this is normal in the crypto market. So when you need to be able to you need to be able to withstand a potential price drop of 30, 40, 50% and mentally be able to cope with it. If not, then you might have to go into a different space, and you might have to go into the stocks and shares market, the gold market, or even just put your money into maybe an ETF, and that's fine. Yeah, I've got my money in ETFs as well. But if you're in this space, you need to understand that volatility is part of the game. But generally, I personally think selling in a potential buying area, and that is what these target areas are. Yeah, they are longer term buying areas. If selling in here just because we're speculating for a drop to 84% or 87%, no, I wouldn't do it. I told you that I already started to buy Fantom. So for me, it's absolutely wrong to sell. But again, that's up to you if you want to do that. But, it's similar to shorting. I mean, if you short down here, even if you expect further price drop, you've dropped down so much that the risk to the downside, that there is not much more downside potential. There is more downside potential, of course, and I still expect it to reach 87 cents in the next downturn. Just because we've moved up here like 10% or so doesn't mean that we are back in an uptrend. We haven't made any higher high. Yeah, we are still below the 50 and the 200-day moving average. We are clearly still in the downtrend. But I use this area for buying the same way as I use this area for selling. It just means don't panic. Yeah, and personally, I wouldn't sell here to speculate for another price drop, because this is now for me buying area. I can't say it more clearly, right? We are at the end. You know, if you are in an ABC correction and you sell at the end of the wave C, that is pretty much the end of the correction. And yeah, we can drop further. We can even drop to 53 cents, but that's part of the game. And any TA will not be able to tell you much closer than the Elliott waves here where the price might be able to land. I think Elliott waves in crypto, they with the highest probability and the highest likelihood are telling you where prices really can go. And the proof is here on the Fantom chart. You know, we talked about it, but you cannot specify it further because of the volatility. This will reduce at some point, but due to the volatility, you have to base it on Fibonacci levels. And because of the volatility and the peaks, yeah, and how high the lows are away from, or how far away the lows are from the peaks, you cannot specify it further because the Fibonacci levels get extended as well. And you can see that range here between 54 and 87 cents. That is quite a lot, yeah, but it is not possible to specify it further just purely because of the volatility in the market. But for that, we can then of course use, for example, TA. And again, similar story here. If you see the price come down on the RSI very, very low, I mean, I wouldn't sell. You sell when the price is overbought, yeah. But just because I tell you the price has a high likelihood of falling further, I always mention the price does not move down in a straight line. So of course, when you're nearly oversold, what you have to expect is a little bit at some point, at any point, and I can't tell you if that's happening tomorrow, in the next hour or whatever, but you typically expect some sort of a reaction to the upside because the market is nearly oversold. So when you're nearly oversold, you have to expect a little bit of a move to the upside. Here on the 4-hour chart, you saw that very, very clearly. You were in the oversold range below 30. Now again, selling here is probably the worst thing to do because you expect the price to move up in the short term at any point. But then when the price has gone up and you overbought again, that is a potential selling signal, yeah. But again, I'm not telling you when to buy or sell. I only tell you what I see the chart doing, and I still see the chart go down lower, yeah. So that might be a bit reassuring to that person who saw it. But personally, we are in buying range. Even now, these are prices where I would buy Fantom personally. Yeah, that's up to you if you want to do that. But certainly, message here is we can still go lower. Obviously, there is still downside potential. I see the price still go lower because we broke the recent support. We got into the target area and we haven't found support at a fib level. Now that is where I would ideally want the price to find support. But I've been telling you throughout this whole move down that we were going down lower. And also here we had moves from 130 all the way to $2.06. And I remained bearish because this here was just a very clear 3-wave move up, after which you expect a 5-wave move down, which is what we're currently seeing. So just because we are moving up, and we can move up 10, 20%, Fantom could even, I mean, and this is just what we need to get used to in this market, Fantom could even go all the way up to whatever, $3 again, before it comes down. Now the difference with Fantom now is it has completed the requirements for a correction. So any move up with a higher likelihood than other cryptos that haven't reached their target area, any move up can now also lead to new all-time highs. That is why personally I like to dollar cost average into these cryptos that have already reached the target areas, and other cryptos that haven't, I am very careful about at the moment, yeah. And that is really as close as you can get. I mean, there is no guarantee for success in this market. Yeah, all you can do is using probabilities and stay calm, and that's what I try to help you with on this channel. Of course, Fantom a little bit more risky because Fantom, we had recently those developers leaving the team, but again, it's not a one-man show. And if Fantom is going to be here in 5 years, I can't tell you, but it's very volatile. And that is one reason why I like Fantom, because it can be very nicely swing traded. So we can see here, selling here, buying here, not selling here, yeah. And then selling the next peak. That is sort of, you know, if you understand what the potential to the next move up would be, that would be around 550. So again, at least 550, yeah. That's the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level. That would be the next major wave up. And again, it's not going to be there in one move up. So it can mean that we go to a new all-time high, drop down 50%, and then start to move up again. Nothing is moving in straight line in these markets, and that is really as close as you can probably predict the market. Of course, taking into account the indicators and so on. But generally, what we can see here coming up here is, yeah, it is not very convincing either. I mean, we see a reaction here, but we haven't really seen a higher high. I would want to see a higher high. We need to make sure that we are getting back into an uptrend, and you can't really say that you're doing that until you are breaking at least I would say above the 20-day moving average. Let's see where the 20-day moving average is. Maybe we've broken it already. No. So the 20-day moving average is currently located here at 144. So you need to wait until you break that to get a first confirmation that you're back into an uptrend. But then again, you're waiting for another confirmation, and it will take some of your profit. That is why I like to dollar cost average into my target areas, and then I'm prepared for both scenarios, because I do have buy orders set lower at my expected price. But should the price still turn around, because nobody has a crystal ball, should the price turn around, because it can do, because it reached the target area, and start to move to new all-time highs here, then I'm prepared as well, because I already have a position in. Now the dollar cost averaging in will be less interesting at some point in the future, but at the moment we are in buying range, yeah, and there's no reason to trade around, in my opinion. At the moment we can just buy, lean back, and wait for the next major wave to the upside, where then profits can be taken, as I did here, and I know a lot of you did as well. Okay, so that's my view on Fantom. Just also to explain a little bit my approach, yeah, you know, just because the price is moving up a little bit doesn't mean I changed my view, because I haven't changed my view. My primary expectation would still be, just to make that very clear, that we're coming down to 87 cents. But for me personally, if it doesn't matter. I told you that I already started to buy, and it reached my target area, and that's fine. It has done, from my point of view, what it needs to do, and I opened my position, and I'm happy now. I'm just waiting, and in the crypto market, you have to be able to sit out lower prices. That's just how it is. And everybody who can't do it, it might be worth looking at a different market. But I know a lot of you are able to do it, and you will be able to do it. It's just to handle those emotions, which are tricky. All right, that's my view on Fantom. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and yeah, also leave a comment. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership, where you can see my own buy and sell orders. You can see you can join the Telegram live chat, and you can join a weekly live stream as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.